UFC Vegas 99. This is the weigh-in recap show, full card predictions, and the betting breakdown. This has got to be lightning speed because I have a wedding to go to in less than 90 minutes. So make sure you guys smash the likes. If you're new, subscribe. Turn the post notifications on. Share the video too. I have a dual fight companion tomorrow for this card and the Ngannou versus Pereira card. So keep it locked in. 4 p.m. Eastern start. Holy smokes, it's a dope night tomorrow for combat sports. And let's get into the fights. Starting the card off, we have Rebellis Despaigne versus Austen Lane. I love the rhyme, and I'm going with Rebellis Despaigne. He's not losing to Austen Lane here. I've been picking him all week. Rebellis Despaigne has an athletic and explosive striking ability. Austen Lane has kind of a brawling striking style, but his chin comes up high. He's definitely a bit chinny, all losses by KO, and he's not a high caliber grappler. Promise you he's looking for takedowns, but if you remember his last fight with Deniz, yeah, he got him down, but it was not a technical takedown. It was a football tackle blasting him to the ground. Despaigne's a big dude. He's heavy. He's strong. He'll be able to fend off the attacks. He's not getting controlled for 3 rounds because Lane doesn't have more than 7.5 minutes of cardio, and I think Rebellis Despaigne is getting a violent knockout win in this fight. Now, we got to check them out on the scales. You can see first up, we got Austen Lane. He's got the yink. He's got the beard. He kind of looks a little Patchy the Pirate-like if he had a little testosterone in his system. But I'm telling you, bro, that beard ain't going to protect the chin from those heavy hands of the Cuban sensation. Those missiles are landing heavy, bro. I think that it's going to be a violent knockout for Despaigne. You can see Despaigne now. Look at this guy. He looks like a Cuban Kevin Randleman. He's got the blonde hair for good luck. He actually looks in better shape than his last fight. I think he's taking this MMA thing very serious. I think he's an extremely talented guy. Sure, Where's Waldo bodied him last time, but Where's Waldo is relatively experienced, and even though he's not known for grappling, he definitely is known as a guy with a solid gas tank, and Austen Lane is quite the contrarian. He's known for no gas, so we're going with Rebellis Despaigne. You can see the face-off. I just feel like Despaigne licking his lips. He's got some cannibalistic blood in him, and I think he's ready to eat come Saturday. He's taking Austen Lane's soul in this one. Yes, I'm going with Rebellis Despaigne, and I feel relatively confident that he's taking him out. Now, to jump over to the odds side of things, you can see Despaigne minus 340, Lane plus 265. Yes, it's probably going under a round and a half at minus 280, but not super confident in it for the fucking chalky tag. Instead, you got a knockout. You want knockout for Despaigne? I mean, if you can play minus 250, I think it's a live parlay piece. Despaigne's a pick that I got some confidence in, but we do have to have some relative concerns about his grappling skills. But luckily, he's not taking on a good grappler nor a guy with good cardio. So Despaigne first round likely at minus 125, but live second round, and it's a way better tag at plus 550 if you're looking for some D-gen stuff. Despaigne down the center, potential parlay piece. That's all you can really do with a money line here, but it should cash. I think he's going to win the fight. Rebellis Despaigne for the W. Let's keep running up the card because we got more action. Next fight, we got Elise Ardelean versus Melissa Martinez. All week, I have been picking Elise Ardelean. I expect her to exploit the lack of wrestling that Melissa Martinez has. Now, she is an underdog, close money. Martinez taking it on real short notice. She's been out for 2 years. She's a talented striking prospect, but just simply too many unknowns. Her fight prior to her UFC debut, she was getting out-wrestled. And now I'm supposed to pick her against Elise Ardelean, who almost got Shauna Bannon in a 2-week notice fight, who's also Bannon being a decent kickboxer with maybe subpar grappling. I'm going with Elise Ardelean to grind out a decision win in a relatively close one. We'll check the ladies out on the scales, and we'll see what we're looking at here between these two. Let's first see who we got. I don't know who's coming up first. Ardelean is. She was the first person to weigh in. She looks in great shape for this fight, looking lean, looking fit, and looking ready for war. She has to. She's got that OnlyFans career popping off, so I think she's got to keep the relative lean look for herself. Now, Melissa Martinez, she honestly looks like Dora the Explorer. I know we had Dora the Destroyer Tuesday take an L. Well, I think Dora is also taking an L this Saturday in Melissa Martinez. I feel like she's going to get outworked, and especially outworked in the grappling. The striking of hers is nice, but I don't know if she's got the power to keep Ardelean off. Ardelean's experience. The damn Melissa Martinez loss was to Elise Reed, and she was losing grappling exchanges in that fight. I can't be confident in picking a Melissa Martinez, and I'm not doing it. I'm picking Elise Ardelean to find a way to beat her. Now, let's check out the ladies' face-off. It was classy and respectable. Not much of a size difference, actual true size similarity between the two girls. And I think we got a win for Ardelean incoming. Now, we're going to jump to the side of the lines. We got to check out the betting odds for this one. Ardelean is still an underdog, plus 115. Martinez, minus 135. Personally, I think Ardelean by decision is the live method of victory, but not interested in chasing that prop. But if you are, Ardelean to win this fight via decision currently is plus 185. And if you like the over 2.5, you got minus 365. We're riding with Elise Ardelean to take it home. She should win the fight. I think she should get it on the scorecards. She's a bit craftier on the ground, and I think that will be the ultimate decider between the two. Ardelean for the win. Let's keep running. Next fight on the card, ladies going after it again. We got a trio of ladies fights. This is the second of the three. Jessica Penne, Elise Reed. I'm a very low confident Elise Reed pick because Jessica Penne is 41. She really hasn't been fighting consistently throughout her MMA career. And I don't think she's looked too good as of recent. Now, granted, Tabitha Ritchie, okay, she's a monster. Fight before that, though, Emily Ducote outstruck her, and that was 2 years ago. The Ritchie fight was 1 year and 7 months ago. On the side of Reed, she's a lot younger. She hasn't fought in 1 year and a month, but it was a loss to Lupi Godinez. Has a win and a close one with Jin Frey. I'll tell you something. Elise Reed is unbettable for me. I wouldn't touch that damn line, even though I'm picking her to win, simply because she has not proven that she's closed up the hole of the subpar grappling skills. Jessica Penne has good jiu-jitsu. She's not a good wrestler. So that is why I'm going to pick Elise Reed to win a competitive striking affair between the two. She's quicker. I think she's lighter on her feet, and I think she's simply better in the stand-up. Now, she's given up 2 inches in height, but she's given up 4 inches in the reach department. Jessica Penne, though, is not a great boxer, right? She's not stinging you with a stiff jab, working great teeps up the center. It's going to be a close kickboxing affair. If it goes to the ground, it favors Penne, but I'm going to say it stays up because the more athletic girl and younger girl is Elise Reed, and I'm picking her to get it done. I'm going Elise Reed to find a way on the scorecards, but yeah, no bet. No bet interest. If you're interested in betting it, man, good luck to you. Good luck to you. Elise Reed. Look at her on the scale. There's Elise Reed. I mean, she looks okay. Not great. Relatively lean, though. You can see the obliques. The Icon Meals thing is covering it. You know, you can't see the full effect of the abs, but I mean, she looks in good shape for this fight. I think she's going to look all right, and I think she can beat a 41-year-old Jessica Penne. But Jessica Penne still looks relatively young. She comes in good shape. Jessica Penne, I mean, I think she thinks in her head that she's still 23, so that young woman mentality, I guess, works for her. Another one, OnlyFans modeling it up. There can't be 2 OnlyFans models winning on this damn card. Absolutely not. So Jessica Penne is going to take an L, and I think she's too popular of a people's dog for me to get behind. I don't know. I'm staying away, though, in general, but I think that Elise Reed, little bit more clean on the feet, little faster, and on her way to getting a big win, honestly, because Jessica Penne is an OG. She fought for the belt like 25 years ago. You know what I'm saying? She's a real OG. There's the face-off between the ladies. And I think that, I think Elise Reed finds a close decision. I think so. We're going to run it up, though, to the betting lines. We got to look at the odds. What are we looking at right now? Even though I'm not interested in it personally, maybe you're minus 180 Elise Reed, plus 155 Penne. Reed minus 180 seems like a very live call, for a decision. Reed on the judges' scorecard sitting at plus 105. That is the official pick. Over 2.5, minus 265. The official outcome that I am anticipating. Yes, we're going with Elise Reed. She's going to take it home. I see her winning the fight, and she is going to be the prediction. Let's keep running up because, I got this damn wedding coming. I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, holy smokes. Next fight, we have ladies again. The trio of ladies fight concludes with Jocelyn Edwards versus Tamires Vidal. I've been picking Edwards all week. I've been confident in this fight going distance, but by God, Jocelyn Edwards looked like shit on the scale. We're going to jump right into the damn scales here. We don't really even need to talk about the stylistic clash too much. Vidal's a brawler. Edwards maybe a little more technical, but not substantially. And she's fought better competition, though. But you see, Jocelyn Edwards looked like a dead woman on the scale. She looks soulless on the scale. Look how sunken in she looks. The breasts are looking flat. Her face is looking sucked in, skeleton-like. And she's wobbling. Like, she looked really bad on the scale. I can't be confident in her. I mean, granted, if you're confident betting the side of Jocelyn Edwards, you're a high-risk taker because she's one of the least reliable fighters in the UFC. And on the opposite side, you got the same thing. But then she comes back to weigh in a second time. Is that Gilbert Burns? Derhino coming out. when they say Gilbert Burns looks like a Brazilian lesbian, there is some legitimacy to that, especially after Jocelyn Edwards starts rocking this Gilbert Burns cut. My God. Now, on the other side, you got Tamires Vidal, who, you know what? She looks like a straight rapper, bro. That's the vibes I get. She looks like she's dropping barbs, man. She looks like she's got some rap in Brazil coming out soon. I think that Vidal is scrappy but not skilled. So it becomes one of those weird spots where it's like, what? You're going to bet on Vidal because Edwards had a shit weigh-in, but Vidal has looked pretty mid in recent fights? Are you going to bet on Edwards because she's losing in a fairly competitive affair with Eileen Perez? You see what I'm saying? I'm going to pick Edwards to win the fight, but betting sides of this fight are sides that I would rather sit on the sidelines of. But let's look at the face-off between the ladies. Let's see what we're working with here, okay? Boom, boom, boom. There is the face-off. Look at the money. Look at them. Looking into each other's damn souls, okay? Looking into each other's souls. They got into it. Edwards gave her like a sloppy shove, too, with the right hand. I think Vidal won the battle of the face-off, but, you know, I'm not going to go out and pick flip on a low-level women's fight, but be a little cautious if you're trying to bet Edwards with confidence. We'll look at these lines right here. You got Jocelyn Edwards minus 236, Vidal plus 201, looking towards the side of maybe the over at minus 350. I wouldn't touch nothing on money lines. I'm not interested even in the Edwards decision, minus 150. If you want a Vidal upset, though, you go her by decision, you get plus 375. Listen, sit on the sidelines for me, but that over 2.5 is a confident call. I think it goes along. Even though Edwards missed weight, I don't think Vidal has the tactics to finish her. So Jocelyn Edwards, still hard-fought decision. Concerning weight miss. Didn't look good on the scale, but she should be okay. Next fight, we got Brad Katona versus Gene Matsumoto. I've been picking Gene Matsumoto all week. He's an exciting prospect. Clean stand-up. Good jiu-jitsu skills, explosive, athletic, and I think more powerful than Brad Katona. Katona has a boxing background as an amateur in Canada, but he's really not heavy-handed at all. He's missed the decisions. There's okay wrestling too, but I just simply think Gene Matsumoto has got that little X factor on him. He's going to have an athleticism and power edge, and I think he's just not, if not even more clean on the feet than him. So looking at the side of Matsumoto, definitely the pick. Katona's durable though. I'm saying Matsumoto's going to get it over 3 hard rounds, and we'll check these two out on the scales. How's everything looking? Are these guys on point? Yes, they are on point. A lot of on point scale looks, actually. Brad Katona looked pretty good. He looks like Lord Farquaad, though. Farquaad, Katona with the shreds. He looked like Farquaad started hitting the fucking gym over here. There he is. Look at Katona. Look at this guy. He's ready to throw down. Katona's a crafty vet. He's a 2-time Ultimate Fighter winner. He's decent. He's not going to make this an easy fight. I think that we're going to see Matsumoto tested, and I think this is the truth for Matsumoto. If he goes out and passes this test, dude is legit. Look at the physique. The dude is in, I think, the best condition of his career. Shredded to the gills, looking absolutely jacked. Looks like a Brazilian Chad. No more chubby cheeks for Matsumoto. He's aging before our eyes. He's becoming a man, and I think man Matsumoto is scary for a guy like Brad Katona. Now let's check out the face-offs between the two. You can see Matsumoto and him, respectable clash of face-offs. One finger to the sky. I do think he's number one in this fight. I do think he's going to beat Brad Katona, a.k.a. Farquaad, and I think he's taking it home probably by a hard-fought decision. As much as I respect and rate the skills of Brad Katona, I just think there is more to the side of Matsumoto and a higher ceiling, and that is why I'm picking Gene Matsumoto to win. Let's jump to the betting odds real quick and check them out. Odds favor Matsumoto at minus 215 with Katona plus 185 as the underdog. Now looking towards the side, do you like the prop bet? I said it throughout the week. I think decision is live because of the durability of Katona. Matsumoto on the cards minus 110. Live outcome over 2.5 minus 325. Live outcome. Both guys have proven they can win decisions. Both guys have been tested a bit. Matsumoto's been taken down a few times in the past, but very good wrestlers in those matchups. Katona, good MMA grappling, but not necessarily a high caliber wrestler, and that is why I'm picking Gene Matsumoto to take it home. Let's keep on running, man. We're going lightning speed like I told you guys today. Let's run it up. Next fight on the card, we have our featured prelim of the night, Matthias Nicolau versus Asu Almabayev. I've been picking Almabayev to out-wrestle, out-work, outpace, out-dog Matthias Nicolau all week, and I put him as a confident pick for a reason. I'm respecting my EVs. If you don't know the EV-OV thing, the last 2 letters of the last name, I think there's power in that a lot of the times, especially with wrestling bases. And Almabayev is that. He's a pressure wrestler. Nicolau has good grappling. Crafty submission game, sure. Crafty grappling, definitely. good takedown defense normally, but he's never fought somebody like Asu Almabayev, and that is why I'm picking Almabayev with some relative confidence here that he's going to be able to put it on Matthias Nicolau, out-press, out-wrestle, out-dog, and beat him. Now, we're going to bring up the scales. Early on when the weigh-in started, we saw Almabayev come in confident. We saw him come in looking shredded as hell. I think this is the most fit Almabayev has ever been, and I truly believe that Almabayev is on a trajectory towards the elite of the weight class. Whether or not he becomes champion, that's a different conversation for a different video. But I do think Almabayev gets past the Matthias Nicolau test. Now, if you look towards the side of Matthias Nicolau, though he came in on weight, he was the last fighter to weigh in, and he looked a little bit nervous. So definitely a difficult weight cut. You can see a definite physique difference, a lot more muscularity to the side of Almabayev, and I do favor that muscularity and strength type build in grappling sequences, even though Nicolau has never been exposed in wrestling before, and normally has a high caliber takedown defense rate. He has never, ever taken on somebody like Almabayev. Sid from Ice Age Nicolau, taking an L this weekend. I think Almabayev's going to put it on him, man. I like Almabayev's skills, and I think he's a quality prospect. There's the face-off between the two. I like it. I like what I'm seeing. I feel the Almabayev energy. I think you guys do too. I think Kazakhstan's got a winner. Kazakhstan, greatest country in the world. All other countries are run by little girls. Shout out to Borat and Almabayev, who's following the footsteps of Borat and Shavkat as superstars from the nation. I see him taking it home with relative dominance. The wrestling skills are the A-caliber weapons, and I think we're going to see a win for Asu Almabayev. But we're not done yet. We got to talk about the odds of this feature prelim. Minus 220 for Almabayev. That's a confident pick. Plus 185 for Nicolau. That's a good call. Looking towards some other things. All right, let's scroll it on down. Over 2.5, very likely, minus 285. Almabayev on the judges' scorecards, the official pick at plus 110. But Nicolau's very chinny. Almabayev by KO, D-Gen prop upwards of plus 700. Maybe something for some of you savages to consider. All right, we got to keep it running. We got to keep it going. We're going lightning speed. I'm not joking around. Let's run it up. Next fight. We're running it. We are at the main card. If you guys have not yet, make sure you all smash the likes. If you guys are new, subscribe to the channel. We got Darren Elkins versus Daniel Pineda. I'm saying Darren Elkins is out-dogging Pineda. I've been picking him all week long. He's the better wrestler of the two, and he's a better decision winner. Darren Elkins very durable. Even though, yeah, we've seen him knocked out, Pineda doesn't necessarily have the boxing chops, I think, to put Elkins away. Now, Elkins been submitted only once, and it was against Charles Oliveira. Though Daniel Pineda has decent submission skills, there's a level of jump, and I don't think Darren Elkins is losing this fight. I think Darren Elkins overcomes a storm in round number one, outdogs Daniel Pineda on his way to a 29-28 crazy fight, crazy decision, and I think this actually is the early lean for fight of the night. I'd be surprised if it wasn't, and I'm thinking that it is. I got the damn hiccups coming at me right now. Holy shit, I'm talking so fast. All the air is flowing into my damn throat over here. I'm getting gastric over here. All right, let's check out the scales between these two, okay? Let's look. First up, Daniel Pineda. To be honest with you, Pineda looks like a villain from The Walking Dead, especially with the weight cut that he's looking drained and sucked out. Looks post-apocalyptic AF, man. Respect to Pineda, though. He's a pit fighter. Both guys are. I love their styles, and I think it's going to be an awesome fight. I love that they match these two up. Darren Elkins, to be honest with you, I love me some Darren Elkins, but don't tell me he doesn't look cracked out. Don't tell me he doesn't look like he's in San Francisco, my man. Holy shit. But the damage is an absolute dog. I think that if you're not an MMA fighter, that tattoo he has is the worst tattoo in the history of humankind. But because he's in the UFC and the way that he fights, that's one of the most badass tattoos in fighting. The damage for the W, the pick from me. He's a cult hero, and I think he's getting it done over a dangerous Daniel Pineda. You can see the face-off between the two. All love and respect as these guys are going to go to war. The respect doesn't mean they aren't going to kill each other. They absolutely are. Somebody's getting pulverized. I think both guys take some serious damage, and I think Elkins out-wrestles Pineda late to end up on top and win the fight. Now, looking at the betting side of things, you have the side of Elkins as an ever so slight favorite, a flip of the lines. He was a dog earlier in the week when I picked him. Pineda minus 105, 50-50 fight. I completely agree with the odds. There's a reason that it's a 50-50, man. It's because this is going to be a crazy-ass fight. Over 1.5 is a money call at minus 155. You can get your hands on it because either one of these guys finishing early just doesn't seem likely. Over 2.5, riskier call, plus 125, but I'm going to say yes. Elkins by decision is the official pick, plus 350 for that one, but, you know, Not necessarily, the best bet ever. But, looking for some value on the line, maybe it's live. Elkins should win it in a hard-fought battle. I'm taking him to beat Daniel Pineda. And my God, I cannot wait to witness the war between these two savages. Let's keep on running. Next fight on the card, we have Jake Hadley versus Cameron Smotherman. Hadley has a short notice foe. He was originally supposed to fight Brady Hiestand. Cameron Smotherman jumps in. Listen, Smotherman's a slick striker. I like his skill set. The dude's well-rounded. He's athletic. He's explosive. There's a lot of things to like. I remember I was high on him when he was coming into Contender Series last season, and he got knocked the fuck out by Charalampos Gregorio quickly, who turned out to be an absolute can. He's better than that. He's racked off 3 straight wins, okay? So give him some respect. But 5 months ago, still got that split decision with Kus, who's decent at 5-1. Then a beating a 4-6 guy. Mando Gutierrez wins not bad, but Jake Hadley is crafty. Jake Hadley's well-rounded. He's got a good boxing game. He's got a well-rounded jiu-jitsu skill set to go alongside of it. Not an easy guy to bully. And I also feel as though the fact that Smotherman's taking on short notice, say what you want, oh, stay ready if you're a prospect. For sure, fight camp ready's a different thing still, and I think Jake Hadley's going to win. I think he probably outdogs Cameron Smotherman in a competitive fight. Don't be shocked, though, if Jake Hadley finds some success in the grappling positions and maybe takes this thing to the ground. You can see Smotherman does have 4 L's, though he's a good prospect. 2 knockout losses, opposite 2 decisions. My official pick is going to be Jake Hadley to get it done on the judges' scorecards, but he does have underrated jiu-jitsu, and I know Smotherman hasn't been tapped before. He's decent with his takedown and grappling defense, definitely, and, not a superb chance of a knockout, but you're in the UFC now. Just because you've never been submitted outside the UFC don't mean it ain't going to happen when you get in the cage here. There's Smotherman. He looks good on the scale. If he was a wrestler, he would be Cameron the Smotherer Smotherman. I think it would be the perfect nickname for him. But instead, it's the babyface killer. I guess it's because he's a striker, but the Smotherer sounds way more fitting. And if he's watching this video, you should consider changing it. I think it fits better. And then Jake Hadley, the White Kong, but I call him just the White Ghost, man. Looks like the ghost of the fucking UK. Holy shit. Jake Hadley's got that light complexion, but let me tell you, it's not light when he fights in the cage. He's quick. He's quick. He's light on his feet, but it's not a light effort. He makes it difficult. And Jake Hadley, I think at 135, has been looking pretty clean, and I think potentially better than ever before. And I really feel like he's confident here in this matchup. I got to go with UFC experience over excitement as a prospect, but definitely you go UFC experience over a super short notice guy who's, recent Contender Series loser. Though he's a talented, skilled fighter, he's got potential for sure. He's not beating Jake Hadley. No way. Let's look at the odds for this fight. The odds for the fight are minus 500 for Jake Hadley. Smotherman plus 385 would be a crazy upset if he did it. Really unbettable line of Hadley unless you're chalky parlaying it. Over 1.5 minus 170. Mwah, I think that's fantastic. Less confident in over 2.5 at plus 120. With a full camp, I'm picking Hadley by a decision over Smotherman. But because Smotherman had a shorter camp, there's a chance he does gas and get finished. So that's why I think the under tag is favored as opposed to the over. But the 1.5 makes sense. I don't really like any of the props here. I think Hadley could be live to pull off the submission, but it's plus 245. I thought it was going to be at much more D-gen money. Knockout's not fucking up there either. Plus 240. Not really much to be made here. I think you go either over 1.5 or maybe you're putting Hadley in a parlay, but my God, he's not going to add much steam unless you're going for like a 6-legger. But he should defeat a good prospect in Cameron Smotherman, but he's stepping in on way too short notice. Jake Hadley, White Kong, is taking it home. Let's jump to our next fight. It is our featured bout of the night. We have Sumudaerji versus Charles Johnson. I love this matchup. I'm picking Charles Johnson to beat Sumudaerji. Both guys have the exact same records, but you got to know something. Sumudaerji is breakable. Charles Johnson hasn't shown that. Sumudaerji, all 6 of his losses are by finish. All 6 of his losses are by submission. Charles Johnson, not known for MMA jiu-jitsu in the UFC, but he does have 4 submission wins outside of the octagon, and maybe if he does some damage on the feet, he could surprise Sumudaerji. Now, there is a little bit of a reach edge for Sumudaerji, and then you got Johnson a little bit taller. I think Sumudaerji struggles with big shots. I think that Johnson's going to be more explosive and powerful. Sumudaerji's good from the outside, but I just don't believe in his durability or his ability to keep up with Charles Johnson's pressure style. And you got to also compare activity, right? 2 years ago, Matt Schnell lost. 2 years ago, my gosh, fucking year and 5 months ago. Since that fight, plenty of fights, man. 3-fight win streak for Johnson. He's way more active. He's fighting all the damn time, whereas Sumudaerji isn't fighting often. 10 months ago was his last fight, and you can see, what, 3 straight wins since then? He beat Azat Maksam, who was 15-0. I think that Charles Johnson is going to win probably over the course of the 3 rounds, taking a decision. but there is like a degen chance of a surprise submission. But when I looked at the odds, I was a little bit underwhelmed. We are going to check them out, though. We got to see what's cooking up. We got to see what's going down with the scales. How are these savages looking, okay? First thing first, we got Charles Johnson. He looks ready to kill. He looks in great shape. I believe this new look Charles Johnson has absolutely hit his stride in the UFC, and he's definitely primed and en route to his best performance, I think, especially against a guy who has questionable durability, and Sumudaerji, who's also really hittable down the center line. Sumudaerji looks like the fucking Mongolian scarecrow. Holy shit. Holy shit. Sumudaerji definitely looks like he should bulk up to 135. My gosh, man. He always looks so damn frail. Looks like Flat Stanley over here. I think we're going to see Charles Johnson be able to outwork him. And don't be surprised if he showcases more than just striking in the fight. He should be able to outmuscle Sumudaerji too. Look at the side-by-side. I swear to you, bro. He's Flat Stanley. Sumudaerji is literally two-dimensional. Charles Johnson's got some thickness to him. Got some depth to his frame, and I think that's a big difference maker. More power on his side, and I do think striking volume and consistently fighting on a win streak is something you have to back, as opposed to a guy who's lost 2 straight. Johnson minus 200, Sumudaerji at plus 170. Sumudaerji's got very susceptible grappling. He's subpar on the ground. Though Johnson is not highly rated in the grappling skills, I do think Charles Johnson's going to win it, probably by decision, plus 130, but maybe submission, but it's only plus 350. What's crazy, KO's plus 800. He just knocked out Joshua Van. Charles Johnson's finding his power in the cage, and I know Sumudaerji's never been chinned, but he was getting rocked a little bit by Matt Schnell in their fight, and I think Charles Johnson could surprise him with a KO. I'm choking on my damn spit over here. I'm talking so fast. That lightning speed breakdown. But I'm going to pick Charles Johnson to find a way to win. I'm going to pick decision officially, but I don't hate inside distance, or I don't hate the degen chase of the sub or the KO. Better on the KO line. But note that Sumudaerji, all his losses, submission, not knockouts. But Johnson could be the first to put him away. Let's see. Great fight. Love it. Let's jump to the next one. We have our co-main event of the evening, Rob Font versus Kyler Phillips. I love this fight. I am very excited to witness what goes down. I am picking the side of Kyler Phillips. I've been picking him all week. I believe that he has a much more well-versed striking style, whereas Rob Font simply just brings a boxing-based style. Kyler Phillips has all of the weapons mastered, the art of the 8 limbs, elbows, knees, kicks, punches. Kyler Phillips just does it all, whereas Rob Font is boxing heavy. I think his leg can get chopped up. Add on top of it, Kyler Phillips has very good movement. And then add on top of that, Rob Font doesn't bring much of a wrestling threat to the fight. I think Kyler Phillips styles on him with a good striking display. Not a super washout easy fight, but still, Kyler Phillips outpointing him, outworking him, having some big moments, landing some clean combinations. He did really well against Pedro Munoz with some sick combinations in that fight. I think he's going to follow the trend. The momentum continues to build. Kyler Phillips has always had top 5, top 10 promise, and to beat an OG contender like Rob Font, I think is going to be the biggest win of his life, and I think that is what's going to happen tomorrow. So Kyler Phillips to find a way. I think he's winning this thing. Let's check out the scales between these two. Not expecting much controversy, you know, both guys doing all right on the damn scale, you know what I'm saying? We'll pull it up, though. We got to check it out still. First up, we got Kyler Phillips rocking the man bun. Kind of looks funny in this picture. He's got the flex on. It looks a little bit nerdy, like a nerdy samurai. Like the samurai that didn't necessarily fit in. That's the vibe that I get from Kyler Phillips. But listen, respect to the skills, because he fights like a damn samurai. And then on the other side, we got Rob Font, who we're about to bring up. Rob Font is, you know, looking all right. I mean, he's still in shape. I feel like he's definitely taking his fair share of damage throughout his fighting career. And I do think that the losses and the, you know, wear and tear, it's worn him down a little bit. And I think he's going to lose this fight to Kyler Phillips. There's a face-off between the two. All respect. This is Kyler Phillips' big opportunity. To be fair, though, Rob Font's way more jacked than him. And not that Rob Font's super jacked, but Kyler Phillips got more of the skinny build. But it works for his style because he's so explosiveness and movement-based that I think he's going to be okay. Light on his feet, good bounce, slickness, striking from the outside, knowing when to strike, and close distance on him, darting in and out of the range really well. I think we're going to see Kyler Phillips take it home over an OG and Rob Font. That is the side I'm going to stick with. I'm picking him, but way too wide now. Minus 500 is crazy. No love for Rob Font. Plus 375 for Font. I do think Phillips is winning. I am going to pick him. I believe in the skill set. Rob Fonto as this big of a dog is crazy. Over 2.5 likely at minus 210. I'm predicting they go long. And then Phillips on the judges' scorecard sitting at minus 125 is what I'm going to officially call. I think we're going distance. I think Phillips winning a decision. And man, I'm excited to see these two go after it. So we're going with Kyler Phillips to get it done and live up to what the expectations are that he's a special talent. Let's keep running. Let's keep on running. Next fight, we have our main event of the evening. If you guys have not yet, make sure you all smash the likes. If you guys are new to the channel, subscribe it up. Lightning speed weigh-in recap because I got a wedding to go to very quickly, like less than an hour now. We got Michel Pereira versus Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. I'm locking Michel Pereira as an underdog this week. I've been picking him throughout it all. Body work is a key factor. Michel Pereira is great at destroying people's bodies. He's also super explosive and powerful. Anthony Hernandez, the weakness is that little fluff in the center. Fluffy, the nickname, Fluffy right in that center. I think Michel Pereira hits the target and the kill shot shuts Hernandez off. I'm going Pereira. I'm going knockout. I think it's going to be a violent fight. I think that Anthony Hernandez has solid, tight, heavy boxing, but more brawling style, whereas Pereira is a maestro of stand-up skills. When you talk about their grappling, yes, I would say Hernandez brings more of an offensive submission threat, does have decent wrestling, but, you know, it took him a while to get Kopylov down, and Kopylov doesn't have the same power that Pereira does, doesn't have the same explosiveness that Pereira does, and we've seen Hernandez hurt in fights and weather the storm, come back and do damage, but in this one, I don't think he's going to be able to deal with the storm from Michel Pereira. Michel Pereira is also a jiu-jitsu black belt. I think that's something that gets overlooked. And a lot of people forget, Michel Pereira was in his mid-20s fighting at welterweight as a guy who, you know, looked 30-something years old. And it's like, oh, he's not living up to the hype. Bro, he was a kid. Now he's 31. Michel Pereira is absolutely primed right now, and I think he's a terrifying middleweight contender on the come-up, and Anthony Hernandez, unfortunately, in the path of the Brazilian savage. I'm going Michel Pereira to get a violent knockout, and I'm locking it up this week. I think we're going to see a finish in this fight for sure. Let's check out the scales between our main event savages. First up to the scale, we got Fluffy Hernandez. He got the gauges locked and loaded, got the tatted look in. I mean, it looks like he got a little less fluff around the midsection. I see some visible abs. I respect Fluffy Hernandez. He's putting in the work for sure. He's a fun prospect. He's a fun contender. He's a fun style, but I think he's running into a nightmare matchup with Michel Pereira. We saw the most recent loss for Hernandez. He got destroyed by body shots against Kevin Holland. There's the Michel Pereira scale look. Look at this Brazilian Chad, savage mode, bearded up, absolutely jacked and stacked. I don't know how he was fighting at 170 pounds because he looks like a large middleweight now. The dude's built like a freight train. From what I've heard of people that got to actually witness him train in person, he looks like a damn light heavyweight when he's in the gym. There's the face-off. Also note, Michel Pereira is at Extreme Couture, and I know they got the grappling game shirt up. He's already got a black belt in jiu-jitsu. I expect good defensive wrestling, and I think he's going to make, I don't want to say easy work of Fluffy because I respect the G, but I think he's going to make a masterpiece of Fluffy Hernandez. We're going Michel Pereira lock in the main event. 2 weeks in a row going for the underdog main event call, and I locked it last week with Royval. A few weeks before that, we had Money Moicano. Now we got Michel Pereira here, and I'm damn excited. Let's look at the betting lines for the fight. Plus 115, Michel Pereira. Give me that dog money. Minus 135 for Hernandez. I think Pereira should be a minus 150 to 200 favorite. I don't know why he's the underdog. Under 3.5, lock it up at minus 285. Under 2.5, very likely at minus 250. For the side of Pereira by knockout, it sits at plus 180. I am anticipating a Pereira KO. If you're looking at a Mystic Market, Pereira wins round number 1 is plus 300. Round 2, upwards of plus 650, actually, because you almost got plus 400 at some spots for Pereira round number 1. Now, if you want the Mystic Mac knockout call, you can get plus 600 for a first round or plus 750 for a second. But don't doubt Pereira's submission skills, especially after he hurts opponents. It's not impossible that Michel Pereira does damage to Fluffy Hernandez and pulls off a D-Gen sub, which is upwards of plus 900. But that is not the pick. The pick is Michel Pereira, knockout. And I think he's finishing Hernandez first 2 rounds. And I think it's going to be explosive. I think it's going to be entertaining. And I think you guys are going to go crazy. And I'm damn excited for the fight companion. So join me live to watch the fights. Guys, those are the predictions, but I am not done just yet. But because it's lightning speed, we're going to look at the parlays that I dropped on Wednesday and see if they still hold up. Is anything not holding up? Well, make sure you note the Edwards Vidal over 2.5. That's not a straight Edwards pick. Please do yourself a favor. Don't think that it's the Edwards pick. Holy shit. I like what I'm looking at. Nothing from the scales has changed my opinions on any of my predictions or on any of my parlays. And because I'm in a lightning speed rush, I figured, you know what? We're bringing up Wednesday's slate on Friday's show, and you guys can check them out. I know some of the savages already screenshotted them, but I'm feeling good about everything. If you want to go crazy and add in a degen play of like Pereira by knockout, Phillips by decision, Almabayev by decision, Johnson, boom, that's a good little foreplay. And I don't know, foreplay. It's a good little foreplay. You guys are having fun. You guys are having too much fun, man. Holy shit. I'm going to quickly line that odd up for you guys so I can tell you what it's sitting at. So it's Pereira by KO, and then it's Phillips on the decision, okay? And then it's going to be Almabayev on the decision. This is DGen AF. This is not a recommendation, okay? This is not me saying, yo, this is the lock of the century. But I got a weird feeling that this could end up coming to fruition. And then the Energy Johnson. So plus 1494 for Pereira KO, Phillips decision, Almabayev decision, and then Charles Johnson. And if you don't want Charles Johnson, you take him out. You still got plus 993, which is pretty damn money. If you want the ladies over 2.5, Vidal and Edwards, which is live, brings you to plus 1842. If you want underdog Elise Ardelean, you think she's winning, now you got plus 3,406. And then if you don't want her, but you want Rebellis Despaigne, then plus 1984 for a little DGen call to close it out. You know I had to give you guys a little live play. I wasn't going to leave you hanging. Thank you guys for watching. I got to get ready for this damn wedding. Smash the likes. If you're new, subscribe. I'll be live for the entire card tomorrow and the PFL main card for their pay-per-view with Ngannou and Pereira. So keep it locked in on the channel. Let me know what you thought in the comments. W in the comments if you got nothing to say. I appreciate each and every one of you. Big W's to the chat. Much love, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.